Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about what is the most recent version of the FDA eSTAR and FDA PreSTAR template. These are the templates the FDA provides so you can submit a pre-submission or a 510K submission, a de novo, a 513G, even a PMA can be submitted with an FDA eSTAR. For those of you that are wondering what the acronym eSTAR stands for, it's the Electronic Submissions Template and Resource. The resource part is all the little help buttons that you can click on that take you to additional information and guidance documents. But I'm going to show you where you can find this stuff, how to search on our website, and how to search on the FDA website for the information. And I'm going to actually show you what's inside as well. So here we go. Okay, so the screen that I'm showing here is the Medical Device Academy website, and the specific page we're looking at is the 510K course page. And if you scroll down on this page, get my mouse to work. So if you scroll down on this page, we actually have a place to download the templates. Right here says the two new eSTAR templates. So I actually am behind schedule here. It's showing version 5.3. The most recent version is 5.4. Same thing for this one. And for the PreSTAR, it's version 1.2. So all three of them, they made a recent revision to correct some issues. So I'm going to show you where to find the current version. I'm going to fix this weekend. So Monday it should be all fixed and you'll have the current versions on here. But I try to show the revision history as well on here, which is a little easier to read on our webpage than it is on the actual eSTAR. But it is in the eSTAR, and that's where I'm copying and pasting it from. So let me show you first where to find the most current version if it's not on our website. It's the eSTAR program. You just type in FDA eSTAR into any browser, and the first link that should show up is the FDA eSTAR program. You then click on that page, and it takes you to this. And you have to scroll down a little bit. Here's where the three versions are. So it doesn't tell you what version. It doesn't say that it's 5.4. It doesn't say that it's 1.2. It doesn't even tell you when they updated it. But the most current version is always on this page. So the way you have to do it is you have to actually click on that link, and it'll open up a browser for you. And it shows at the very top of my browser that's version 5.4. What you will also notice is that it gives you this warning message says, please wait. That's because the FDA eSTAR and the FDA PreSTAR are PDF templates. So they're designed for Adobe Acrobat Pro, not the Adobe Acrobat Reader, but Adobe Acrobat Pro. So that's what you should use. There are other software tools that you can use, but they sometimes have bugs, and they actually talk about the bugs in the revision history. So if you want to avoid having bugs and having problems, please use Adobe Acrobat Pro. That's all we use. It's worth it if you have somebody that's preparing submissions. Just give them that software, even though it's a license. It's not an expensive license, and it will debug all your problems. So when I want to view this, I have to actually download it to my computer and then specifically open that file with Adobe Acrobat Pro. So if you wanted to see what 5.4 looks like, I believe I have it right here. So this is the 5.4 version for devices. They also have a separate one for IVDs. This one says it's for non-IVDs, so it says NIVD in the name. In the top right-hand corner, it says it's version 5.4 that was released in November of last year. So like I said, I'm about a month behind or two here. If you scroll down a little bit more, you get the revision history, and you click on this, and now you can actually read what the revisions were. But you are allowed to use 5.3. You're allowed to use 5.2. You're allowed to use 5.1. It's only when they go to 6.0 that you'll no longer be able to use the older versions of 5. You also cannot use version 4.3 because that's obsolete. They went to 5.0. So you can use any 5 series of the eSTAR template until they release the 6. And they release these fairly often because it's software and there are bugs, and there are always updates to other software that it interacts with. so they have to make adjustments. They also make adjustments to the FDA website. So one of the things that they changed here, they used to have a link where it would show you in the classification section of the eSTAR what guidance documents are applicable to your device. They no longer do that. Instead, what they've done is they've incorporated that into the classification page on the FDA website. So they provide a hyperlink to the classification page, which is more of a static link, whereas trying to have different guidance documents all the time, that creates dynamic links and could be more of a problem to embed it into the eSTAR and PreSTAR. So that was a smart move on their part, but now you have to go an extra click. You have to click on the link, takes you to the classification page, read where and if they even have a guidance document, and then click on that link. So I'm going to show you an example. So I'm taking you back to the FDA. Oh, that's not what I want. I'm taking you back here to the product classification page. So the way you find the product classification page, you can either hyperlink this page, or what I do is I go to fda.gov. I'll actually walk you through it. I do this a lot, but people find it helpful. So we will do it. We'll just start from scratch here. We'll go to fda.gov. So now we're at the fda.gov website. You click on the menu button in the top right. Then you click on medical devices in the middle of the page. Then you scroll down to product code classification. I usually go to all medical devices, but we just want the product code classification. And the example I'm going to show you is a clinical thermometer. It's real easy. Okay, it gives us a whole bunch of different choices. We're going to pick the electronic clinical thermometer. This is a class 2 device that requires a 510K. And when you scroll down, you see this new area called guidance document. Not all the pages have this. Not all the product codes have a guidance document specifically telling you what they want for that product code. Only some of them do. Some of them aren't even 510K, so they wouldn't have a guidance. But this particular one does, and that's the link you're looking for. But the eSTAR, if you typed in this product code, so the product code is FLL, it's not going to take you to a guidance document. It's going to take you to this classification page, and then you have to know to scroll down and then click on this link to actually get to the guidance document. And it's an old guidance document from 1993, so that's why I said those guidance document links are going to be more dynamic. They don't want to put them in the FDA eSTAR or PreSTAR, so instead they're putting a link to the classification page, which are more static, at least for the IP address. So that's one of the changes they've made in this revision. There are other changes, and they explain that in here. They talk about bugs that you may experience with PDF, not PDF Exchanger. I think it was Foxit. Foxit. I yesterday uncovered a potential bug with PDF Exchanger, but it always depends on your configuration. Like the response that I got back from Patrick Axtell, who is the person that's in charge of these templates, he said that we don't see the problem with the Mac version, but we do see the problem with the PC version. So it depends on whether you're on a Mac or a PC, what software version you have of the PDF rendering software, and then, of course, what version of the PreSTAR or eSTAR you're using. So you got to keep all those things in mind when you're trying to figure out what is causing the problem. And that's, once again, why we recommend only use the Adobe Acrobat Pro, and then you won't have the problem. We can also take you back to the PreSTAR version. So this is what the PreSTAR looks like. This is version 1.2. They don't have separate versions for IVDs and devices. They use the same for all of them. And you scroll down a little bit, and it has version 1.2 here. And you want the revision history. It tells you what it is, and it's very similar wording to the 5.4 version. So they first made changes to the eSTAR, and then they made changes to the PreSTAR. Similar changes in both. And They were both for things that they modified on the FDA website and bugs they've identified. So those are the problems that you're seeing. Those are the two current versions. Now, if you've already done all this work on 1.1, everything's working smoothly, you can still submit 1.1. It's okay. Same thing for 5.3. If you did everything in 5.3 and you don't want to switch to 5.4, you can still submit 5.3. But when 6.0 comes out and 2.0 comes out, you'll have to switch. So that's how you find the most current versions. If you have other technical questions about the FDA eSTAR, the FDA PreSTAR, or submissions in general, please let us know. The best place to do it is comments below. I check out the different streaming sites where we stream, and I answer those questions as often as I can. And if you have any suggestions for future topics, please put your comments down below. Request request another live stream webinar on your question, and I'll try to include that in the future. And share this with anybody that's trying to find what is the most current version. This will help them out a lot. So have a great weekend, and I will see you next Friday.